in order to save herself, she kills this little girl that looks up to her.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. So we can maybe put more drama
And then
of the little girl.
And then you go sequel number 2. That's the sequel. Is the new little girl. Hey everybody, I'm Nick. I'm a director living in Taiwan.
Hey everybody, I'm Luke, a cinematographer living in Taipei.
And today we're talking about the Taiwanese horror film, The Tagalong, from 2015, directed by
陈伟豪. 红衣小女孩.
And this film, we picked it because it's actually it was the most highest grossing horror film in Taiwan. It might have been passed by Detention now, but at the time that it came out, highest grossing horror film in Taiwan. It's about a old woman who goes on a hiking trip with her friends, and in the mountain, when they come back, one of the women from the hiking trip goes missing.
Yeah.
And then the old woman, she goes missing, and people in her family go missing. The idea is that they brought the ghost back with them from the mountain. And you said this is kind of based on
based on a picture, actually.
A picture?
Yeah, it's a group of people go to hike in the mountain, right? And they take a picture of good people walking in the middle of the mountain. And this kind of girl walking behind them.
So that picture, because they show the picture in the movie, that picture in the movie is based on a real picture that actually somebody took.
But not
that's
that,
creepy.
yeah, but not that, it's kind of, because it's old and the digital camera is not as, clear as
so it's kind of
before. It's kind
blurry.
of vague. You don't really know it's a person or something, just in the background. You see pretty much a young girl following them.
Wow.
So it's we're talking about some weird pictures now.
Yeah.
So this is one of them.
Okay.
So based on it, develop a lot of series.
So is this on? There's a news program in Taiwan that it's not like a news program, but it's like a TV show that's on sometimes, and it's like a guy and he's standing in front of like a bunch of weird photos. And he talks about like aliens and ghosts and stuff like that.
Yes.
So it was on that program.
You was on that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I think they show that TV show in the movie actually. There's like a clip where it's playing in the background.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a very popular show. Like if you ever come to Taiwan, you turn the TV on, you'll see it sometimes. It's like some guy and he's like talking about photos of aliens or photos of ghosts and stuff like that. So that's the interesting thing I think about the movie is that they take a lot of kind of well-known scary things from Taiwan, like that photo. They also, the idea of like old people disappearing is something that is really common in society here. Of like, older folks with dementia kind of wandering off and getting lost. It's a scary idea. Then the other thing that you told me was the idea in the film about if you are in the mountain, you shouldn't say someone's full name.
Yeah. If you say someone's full name, the spirit will also know the name of someone. So they will follow you till they catch you.
If you say the full name of someone, then the spirit will go after that person because now they know your name and they can catch you.
Yes.
And so that's something in the movie that happens is that the people that get taken, the ghost kind of forces them to say the full name of the person that they care about.
Yes.
So that the ghost can then go take that person too.
Instead, in exchange.
Yeah, exchange. Because it's like the ghost always needs someone. So like if you want to get released, then you say the name of someone else, and then the ghost will get that person instead.
Yes.
Which is it's a creepy idea. I think it's a good idea. So I love that about the film. They have all these kind of good ideas. I think there's a couple ideas that they kind of were trying to put in, but didn't really work. Like they talked a little bit about how the guy was a real estate, the main character is in the real estate, and there's like one line where they say something like, oh, the ghosts are mad because you're cutting down too many trees and building new buildings, and like they're punishing you or something. I think that's an interesting idea, but they only very briefly mention it and they don't really expand on that.
I think it's just a joke from the director, like he wanted to also impart
the politics thing.
In politics thing, the mental protection things, like you over development of the mountains, so the ghosts have no
nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go, so they have to go to the city to hunt people. So it's just a kind of joke. But
Okay.
I think it's also I like you. I like this kind of.
Yeah, I wanted
little
more.
thing.
I wanted more of that. Though.
Yeah.
Like I wanted them to like make it a little bit more. Maybe because I care about environmental stuff,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I wanted
yeah.
it to be like an environmental movie. But I mean, it doesn't really fit. Then the other one was the moth. I didn't understand the idea of the moth. There's something about the moth because like there's the ghost and the moth seem like they're the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to make it like that, but they didn't really explain what the meaning of the moth was in the film.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
But it seems to be not real insect. We should Google it before we talk about this part of it.
Maybe we'll take a let's pause and we'll figure out. Let's Google that moth.
We'll
be right. So we looked up the moth and apparently it's a real moth.
Yeah.
It's what's it called? Guilin. So like ghost face moth or something.
Yeah, it's ghost face.
But it doesn't have any significant kind of connection to the story really. It doesn't have any mythology behind it. It just is a creepy looking moth.
Yes.
So that's what I mean is I think like putting that moth in the story. Oh, also it's the moth that they use in the movie Silence of the Lambs.
Sound of Lambs?
Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, right.
So that's the moth from that. Yeah. But I mean, I think it's kind of an interesting idea, but I just think it's like one too many things. Like if you're going to have the moth be part of the story, then I feel like it needs to have some kind of connection. Like, I don't know, it goes inside people's brains and makes them crazy or something like that. Like, so that's because they have a whole thing actually about like hallucinations where you don't know if the ghost is making you hallucinate and what you're seeing is really real. So like if they made it that like actually the whole ghost thing was like like a moth inside your brain, that would be pretty interesting to me.
It's a more science explanation.
Yeah.
How you
so like
illusions.
So like people go into the forest, go on a hike, and then they get this moth in their brain, and it makes them have weird hallucinations about ghosts when they come back and they go crazy. Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
That would be cool too. But for this kind of story, it's more
they want it to be ghosts.
Just ghosts.
Yeah.
Nothing science.
Yeah. So fair, but I don't know. I think that could have been cool. On the technical side, I thought the color and the way that they shot it was really nice. Like I really like the color palette that they used. Yeah. It fit really well with the scary thing. Yeah. And then I thought that the sound design for this movie was like next level good. So good. Like so for me, the idea of sound design is if you notice it too much, it's not that good. So I was watching it, I didn't really think about it. Then when the film was over, I realized I was hearing everything in my environment. I was paying like really, really close attention. I was like just walking around. I was outside walking around, and every little sound I was noticing, footsteps, and because that's what they were doing in the film. They're making they point out all these little sound elements of like the girl running in the background, and they do like a lot of really good spatial things where something's far away, then it's close, and it really makes your sense of sound pick up on all this different stuff. So by the time I finished the movie, I realized like, wow, the sound design for this movie is really, really, really good. Yeah, it's also very crucial element of in terms of making horror movies. Yeah. To increase the mentally scary level. Yeah. Yeah, and also he switched the color when you from the normal state to the horror state. There's a scene the main actor trying to find his mom, his grandmother, right? Yeah. And he's searching in the house, and then all of a sudden, the color changed. Interesting. The technical side of it that I thought was lacking was that the CGI that they used for the stuff was just really not good enough. Yeah. I think at the beginning, the first half of the movie, it was okay. Yeah, there's a scene. The hand going into the eyes. Yeah, it's okay for me. Okay. And the ghost has some creepy moments when you didn't see too much of it. Like there's a one shot in the early part of the film where the ghost is on like a shelf. Yeah, it's really fucking scary. It's really really scary. Yeah. And there's a couple like jump scares with the ghost where you don't see it; it's just kind of there for a second. Yeah, and it's really scary. Yeah, but then. And this is my whole point that I think a lot of people just don't want to do with horror movies. It's like, you don't have to show everything. You need to think about, okay, what is my limitation? What can I do well? And only do that. So if I can only make a scary hand well, okay, that's all you need to show. Yeah. And it'll be scarier. Than if you show, like, you're like, okay, I'm going to animate this girl that's like running up a tree, and then the animation of the body mechanics just don't look right. It just doesn't look. It's just, you can tell it's like a computer thing.
Yeah. Then
it's like, okay, then you want to have it run up the tree, show less of it, like just show like a little bit less. Yeah. And then it'll be scarier because your imagination is so much better than what you can show someone.
Yes.
So the smaller amount you show, the better it's going to be. So I think. And towards the end of the movie, it just goes totally off the rails where they're showing all this stuff. Like there's a bunch of like 20 ghosts jumping out of trees like monkeys. This
is totally.
It's so ridiculous.
Maybe why not just showing a girl? Maybe not even move, just stand right there.
Yeah, it's way creepier.
It's
way creepier.
So just like you said, maybe just reduce the scene.
Yeah, less is more.
Less. Then you can create more
atmosphere, and you have to be more creative about. Okay, I can't show this much, but I need to make something really scary. So how do I do that? What are the tools that I have to make this thing really scary?
Yeah.
And like people that were really good at it is like the older kind of Japanese or the older Korean kind of horror movies. Like there's a movie called Tale of Two Sisters, and it's a ghost movie, and the times you see the ghost are not very often, but it is one of the scariest movies ever. And when you do see the ghost, it's so scary. It's really creepy. You only see it for a little while, right? Yeah. So I think this movie is inspired by those kind of Asian ghost movies, like because this is from 2015, and those are like older, like 2000s.
And also he also 借鉴 just use 借鉴要怎么讲？英文就是
inspired or
he's also inspired by an old movie called Nightmare in Elm Street.
Really?
There's a scene the girl, the main actress, sleeping in the bed, and all of a sudden the blood just fall over all the bed, right? And also the ghost crying over the ceiling. So definitely just inspired by.
Because there is a whole thing about dreams in this one too.
Yes, a lot of it.
So that's interesting, actually. Yeah, you can tell that the director really loves horror movies, though. Yeah. I think that's what I like about it. Is like he does the Sounds of the Lambs thing. He does the Nightmare on Elm Street thing. He talks about like other Asian horror movies. So I think he really does love horror movies. So, in that sense, it's good.
For me personally, I like they wanna create an environment which is not only just horrible, but someone in love.
Okay.
So for me, the most touching thing is not about the horror stuff that people getting hurt or something hunting in the mountain. It's because it's the people wanted to help each other because love. So they create horror.
That's very nice, Luke.
I really like the idea of making horror movie because of love.
Yeah. Well, and it's a good thing too. I was thinking when she goes to the mountain to save the guy, you think, why would she go there? Like, because that's pretty scary. Like, but then because you're like, oh yeah, she loves that guy. So I was thinking, for the person I love, would I do that? Yeah, I would. Yeah. I would go to this dangerous place try and do this. So it really matches. Personally, like the ending, I had a lot of problems with. I didn't.
Me too.
I thought that first of all, the CGI gets really bad at the end, and then the very end of the movie. Spoiler. So this is spoiler right here.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to know the ending of the movie, then you can skip to the end. At the end of the movie, she's like trapped with the ghost. She finds the guy, and he says like, "Oh, you can't take me because if you take me, the ghost needs to take another soul back, so it'll take you or somebody else." And so she like still pulls him away, and then she uses a flare to scare the ghost, and then they get out of the forest, and everything's good, and they have a happy life, and she has a baby, and they have dinner with the grandma, and everything's perfect and fine.
Yeah.
Then, at the very last shot, they have a moth on the wall.
On the wall.
So the idea, I think, that the director was trying to do was that actually she is having another hallucination. Mm-hmm. This whole thing isn't real, and she's still stuck in the mountain.
Yes.
With the ghost.
Yes.
And this is kind of confirmed in the sequel, I believe.
Yes.
And that this is what happened.
Already be confirmed.
Yeah. So that's that. But I just think he didn't do it well enough. So if I'm remaking this and directing this movie, this is what I do is like that scene with everybody where they're eating dinner and it's all happy. You include the first, like you include everybody that was captured by the ghost in that scene. So you include the security guard, you include the woman, the old woman, the very first old woman, and they're all at the dinner together. So they're all there and they're all happy, right? Yeah. And so then that's already a little weird. They're like, why are these people that they don't really know that well eating dinner with them? Then you pan over, and then there's not just one moth, but there's a bunch of moths all on the wall. And then there's like a little crack in the wall, and you can kind of see the forest there. Yeah. Just a little bit. And that would give it just, I mean, I know like maybe you think like, well, that's too much, but it's like you need a little bit more so that it's like, people are kind of getting the idea of what you're trying to say. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, but I think the director just wanted to confuse the audience.
Yeah, but I don't like that.
They wanted to be people believe in happy ending, then shall be believe in
happy ending.
Then, but people knowing what they are showing, knowing what
he wanted it to be like Inception, right? Yeah, where the top spins and everybody's like, is it real or fake?
Yeah, but not really. I mean, also, like they also another hint before they eating dinner is because the scaring fire the actress scaring girl scaring the spirits is not even exist. She already run out of.
She already used it.
She already run out of use it. Yeah. So there's no anything that she can scaring.
Okay, that makes sense then. So that's kind of cool. But I just see the thing is that it's just not clear enough. Like
no.
Anyway, but then
because
here's my other
because of her love, so she saves everybody.
Here's my other ending. Okay, this is my better ending. This is if I wrote the movie. So that would be if I was directing the movie and I wanted to fix it. This is if I wrote the movie. This is my ending. So in the very beginning of the movie, there's a thing with another little girl who like they do it as like you think it's gonna be the ghost girl, but it's actually a real little girl, and it's the friend of the woman she works with, right? Mm-hmm. And she says, "Oh, this is her," and she says her full name. She says like, "Oh, like something Bebe or whatever." Yeah. The little girl. So they're in the mountain, right? And they're getting trapped by the ghost, and the ghost is gonna like take them away. And the guy tells him, the ghost needs someone else. You can't take me back, or else it needs someone else. And the first name she thinks of to say is the little girl. Okay. So then they get out of the mountain, but the ghost takes that little girl instead. And so then that's how they get free. So they kill the little girl to get out of the mountain. That to me is the better ending.
We will definitely get blamed by someone. Like, why you kill an innocent poor little girl?
Well, so like, and the idea too is like they can build this up a little more of like, if you can't say the name of somebody you don't know, right? You have to say the name of somebody that loves you for it to work. Yes. And so that little girl really loves that because that woman doesn't have a family, right? No. So like the whole point of the movie is that the woman has no family. Like she's jealous of her boyfriend because she has a grandma, but she herself doesn't have any family. So she has no family to say the name of. Okay. So the only person she can say the name of is that little girl, who she doesn't know, who loves her. This is my script. This is what I'm writing.
Maybe not really.
You don't like it? I'm not getting greenlit. Oh no, Luke vetoes my idea. No, I think it's good. Come on. Why? So the little girl, because it's creepy. Like she gives up in order to save herself, she kills this little girl that looks up to her.
Okay. You know? Yeah. So we can maybe put more drama.
And then
of the little girl.
And then you go sequel number 2. That's the sequel. Is the new little girl.
Why I found this a little bit funny.
Okay. All right. If you like my editing, please let me know. Luke doesn't like it. All right. If you have any movies that you want us to recommend, please let us know in the comments. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. So you don't miss our videos, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.